Marty, how about the front end of the 01 car for Joe Nemechek?
Yeah, as you can see, there's some pretty good damage right where that yellow piece of tape is. Joe came on the radio and said, I went. No one else did. They had the same problem last week when he hit Dale Earnhardt Jr. The water shot up to 250, but that's where it stayed all day. You can see the damage on the front end of the 01. Joe has not complained about the water temp yet, but more than likely he will before the end of the day.
Probably will. It looks like there's some damage there around the entrance to where the water gets cooled. We'll see.
And Junior in the 8 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. all over the back of the 24 car of Jeff Gordon.
And going to take 9th place, well, going to try and take 9th place away from him. Not this time, Bill.
But he'll probably keep trying, don't you think? Yeah, 4 tires and fuel and an air pressure adjustment on that last stop. The car was good. Junior was happy. That's a dangerous combination for everybody else.
There he goes again. And I think Gordon will just eventually let him go, like right there. Doesn't look like the 24 car can stay on the bottom either, Benny. It's trying to keep it on the bottom, but Marty, what is he saying? See, right there, the 24 shoots up the racetrack right in the middle of the corner. Marty?
Yeah, Wally, he's been having a problem with being too loose off the corner. Same thing with his teammate Jimmy Johnson. They start to run loose, and Jeff said, I'm terrific in traffic, but when I'm by myself, the car just does not run as well. And you see he's got a little bit of clean air between him and the car in front of him, so when he gets up close to that car, the car runs well, but when he's all by himself, the car just way too loose for Jeff.
So Gordon falls back to 11th place as Greg Biffle gets by him, in addition to Dale Earnhardt Jr. Up front, it's all Matt Kenseth right now, ahead of Ryan Newman by 0.6 of a second after 70 of 400 laps in the MBNA America 400 at Dover.
We tried this once before, but we want to be everywhere we want to be. So let's try another visa through the field. And once again, it's that double play combination of Matt and Matt that leads it off.
And Matt Kenseth has a full rearview mirror of the 12 car. Ryan Newman says the car was a little free off before the pit stop, but didn't want to work on that, Bill. They just wanted to work on the tight to the center as he walks on the inside of the 31.
Ryan Newman in that 12 car looking at the bumper of the 17. They talked about the car was just a little loose before they pitted. They didn't make any changes because they think the track will tighten up. Rusty Wallace also took 4 tires, no changes on his number 2 car. His pit stop, 12.89 seconds. That helped the 2 pick up a couple of spots.
Bill, Jerry Mayfield restarted 4th. 11 laps into this run, he radioed that it felt like it was rolling over the right rear, but when the air temperatures came up, the car is as fast as the leaders. Marty?
On the last stop for Jimmy Johnson, he said, let's take a small swing at this car being tight. So all they did was add a pound to the right rear tire, Dave. But now the car is still tight for Jimmy Johnson. They have not loosened it up. He has 2 wins, and his 5-driver start's looking good so far today, Dave.
Dale Jarrett in 6th place has made up no ground, but they made up ground after their first pit stop where they made a big adjustment to fix a tight condition. No changes on the last stop. DJ's rolling. The 97 car of Kurt Busch restarted 9th. He's moved his way up to 7. The car was a little tight in the center, loose late. They made an air pressure adjustment that fixed that, Bill.
Dave, Jamie McMurray in the 42 running okay. He was tied off and loose in. They made an air pressure and chassis adjustment, but there might be a driver adjustment needed. Jamie says he is fatigued. He feels tired. His eyes are watering, so we'll keep listening for that. Right behind him, the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Good news for Junior fans. His words to the crew, the car is awesome. Just got passed by the 41, though. Junior also has a little bit of a soft brake pedal. How about that 41, Matt?
He is having an awesome day, Bill. 3 laps ago, worked his way into the top 10 and slowly worked his way past driver 8. The car was much tighter in the first run than it was yesterday. They pulled a spring rubber out of the left rear back on lap 19, and the car has really come to life, Alan.
There are your top 10 of 31 cars that are on the lead lap as we approach the 1/4 mark of today's race. Matt Kenseth still being stalked by Ryan Newman for the race lead. Let's continue to go through the field. 11th place Greg Biffle, and Matt has that story.
Biffle won here in June in a Busch Series race. Best finish here at Cup 7. He just got knocked out of the top 10. The car still too tight on late exit, Marty.
Matt, about 10 laps ago, Jeff Gordon came on the radio, said, guys, we are the complete opposite of what it's been all day long. He restarted 10th, has now backpedaled to 12th, came on the radio, said, quote, I don't know what to tell you guys, Dave.
Elliott Sadler has lost 5 positions since the restart. They tried to fix a loose in and through the middle condition, but they made the off the the corner bad. He rated lap 75, sliding the nose real bad. Matt?
Mark Martin started the afternoon 7th in the championship point standings. He runs 14th on the racetrack. The car, the balance is just not what he needs, Marty. A little loose and a little tight.
A great day for Sterling Marlin. Matt started 34th today. Currently, he has moved up to the 15th position. Very happy with the car. Just a little bit tight. Dave?
Ricky Rudd is having a day where he really hasn't gone anywhere yet. Made a slight adjustment on the last stop. Has lost one position. He started 14th today, so he's just kind of hanging around there near the top 15. Marty?
On his first stop of the day, Kevin Harvick took 2 tires. He said that didn't work. They came down this time on lap 49, took on 4 tires. Car much better now. It's a little bit tight. Matt?
Tony Stewart's worked his way from 24th where he restarted. Now he's up to 18th. Crew chief Greg Zipadelli did not want to over-adjust on that race car due to the cosmetic damage to the fender. They didn't want to know really how much it was tight, so they just did a slight track bar adjustment. Meanwhile, the guy who's been flying coast to coast, Carl Edwards in the 99 car, having a very impressive top 20 run. The car's a tick-tight day through the middle of the corner.
And racing Carl Edwards very hard for the last few laps has been Scott Riggs. Has not radioed into his crew in a long time. The last run they were very tight, so they made a wedge and track bar adjustment and allowed him to work on trying to get around the 99. Hasn't been able to do that. The 18th of Bobby Labonte restarted 21st. Well, guess what? He's just about in that position right now. They had a loose car. They put a spring rubber in the right rear, made a track bar adjustment to try to help Bobby. Not yet, Bill.
Jeff Green in the 43 car trying to get Petty Enterprises another good, strong run here at Dover. They've been looking for that for a while, but it's not working out so far for Jeff. Back in the 22nd position. As for Michael Waltrip, and sliding backwards, had that good starting spot, but now working the wrong way in the field. They told him on the radio, look at the high groove. Some of the guys that are making progress are running in the high groove.
So there's back through 23rd place in our through the field. Up front, no change among the top 2. Kenseth and Newman still being stalked there.
That yellow and black car is going to be putting a lot of cars down. The pace he's going right now.
By the way, unscheduled pit stop for Joe Nemechek a minute ago under the green flag. He has gone back onto the racetrack and has gone a couple laps down in 34th place. Also, Ward Burton's car is behind the wall. Matt?
Alan, you guys commented earlier in the show about how well Matt Kenseth qualified. Well, if you look at his wins, though, all 9 wins have taken place from 17th through 31 on the grid. He told his team earlier in the race, and he rarely says this, the car is pretty decent, so that tells you, much like Mark Martin, when they give you a little bit of optimism, that tells you a lot, Bill.
Well, Matt, here's the trivia question for the booth today. What did Ryan Newman lose yesterday in happy hour practice? Mirror. Guess what he lost today? Mirror. Yeah, but you don't need that if you can get around the 17. He's going to try and get around that. Lost that left side mirror. I don't need that. I'll just go around him on the outside. Now I can see him out my rearview mirror in the front of the car. 12 to the lead.
And Wally, they have officially got the outside line working well now.
As you see Rusty peeking up there, and there's a lot of cars down starting to use it.
They pitted at lap 49, so Matt able to hold Brian off for 40 laps. And now Matt Kenseth starting to slide back, and he's going to lose second spot here to Rusty Wallace. Joe Nemechek is back in.
I'm sure getting some water.
Marty?
Yeah, we called it. It was not the water, though, Wally. It's the oil temperature that's gone bad. 290. That doesn't work too well for oil. They pulled a piece of tape off. He went out, ran a few laps. Now he said the motor is starting to die. They came down pit road, going to see what they can do, but they'll limp it home this afternoon for the 01 bunch.
That's because the damage right there in the front is interfering with the airflow going to the cooler, right?
That is correct, Wally.
Ryan Newman, the race leader, just passed the 1/4 mark of today's race. Rusty Wallace, his teammate, is stalking him in second place. Matt Kenseth, Jeremy Mayfield, Dale Jarrett rounding out the top 5 drivers.